Yo, what's good, y'all? It's your boy AJ, and this is Hip Hop Vibes, the podcast. Back at y'all once again with another album review. I'm solo dolo again, but my co-host Nick and we're actually going to start recording this weekend. We're going to definitely have some new content for y'all, literally at the end of the year. So stay tuned for that. But in the meantime, before I get to this album review, we had a lot of new releases that came out last week. So just in case you might have forgot or you just weren't aware, I'm here to remind you. Now, I didn't get a chance to listen to most of these yet just because of work and editing and all the other stuff I've been busy with, but I definitely will get to them eventually. But the first release was Rick Ross, Richer Than I Ever Been, Big Boy and Sleepy Brown, Big Sleepover, Juice WRLD, Fighting Demons, Alicia Keys, Russ with Chomp 2, A Boogie with Before Ava, TM88 and Pierre with Yo 88, Birdman and NBA Youngboy from the Bayou, Tory Lanez Alone at the Prom, and Wiz Khalifa, Wiz Got Wings. Now, I actually did listen to Wiz Khalifa's joint. It's a collaborative album. It's him and producers Cardo and Sledger. Now, he's worked with both producers in the past before, dropped a whole bunch of bangers. So when I heard that he was working with both of them on the same album together, and I was like, yo, this shit about to be fire. And it definitely was. It's your typical Wiz Khalifa fashion, he smokes. He makes a lot of smoking type songs. He makes a lot of songs you can smoke to. A lot of the songs are like more chill, more laid back. Of course, he has like the occasional like trap Wiz beats or whatever shit like that and joints like that. But for the most part, it was more laid back, more chill. Like I said, your typical Wiz joint. It's like Wiz knows his lane and he sticks to it. And he's consistent with that for the most part. You know what I'm saying? If I had to pick my top 3 favorite songs from this project, it's Can't Stay Sober, Purple Fantasy featuring Young Deja, I hope I'm saying his name right, and The Kid Frankie Part 2 featuring Chevy Woods. But yeah, definitely check that joint out. That shit is definitely fire. That's all the releases that came. Actually, no, take that back. I take that back. There is one more release that I want to talk about. It's another collaborative album with rapper Corey Miller and producer/saxophonist Sax Love Money. It's entitled The Raleigh Sessions. It came out about maybe a little under 2 weeks ago. I've known Sax Love Money for a couple years now. Like he's done tours with Rhapsody. He's played on 106 in Park numerous times. That shows you how long he's been in the game. And he's done different like covers, like SZA covers and like things like that. But he's only started producing for maybe a couple years now. But the production in this album, man, was good, bro. Like, I only listened to the album one time through, so I can't give you like a thorough, detailed review about it because I like for my album reviews, I like to at least listen to the album at least 3 to 5 times, because each time you listen to it, you hear something different, or you'll hear something that you never heard that you didn't hear the last time. So I can't give you a full review of it yet, but for my first time listening to it, it's definitely fire. He definitely did his thing with the production. Corey Miller definitely did his thing on his joint as well, from his delivery to the flow to the lyrics. And I just like when you're listening to his song, like when you're listening to him rap, you can paint like a vivid picture, like a vivid image of like what he's rapping about. And I feel like that's very important in a rapper. You know what I'm saying? To me, that's very important when it comes to rapping. If the audience is able to like fully like see what you're talking about or what you've been going through or all that type shit. Nah, I actually haven't met Corey Miller, but I had heard some of his earlier stuff as well. And dude's always been consistent. Dude's always been good, lyrical, and all that good stuff, man. So like, yeah, it's Corey Miller, Sax Love Money, The Raleigh Sessions. To make sure y'all go ahead, support them. It's available on all streaming platforms. It's on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Get their streams up, get their listens up. Support them, man. It's free to listen, dog. And that goes for like anybody that's on the come up, whether you're rapping, producing, mixing and mastering, podcasting, you're a YouTuber, you crochet, you do art, whatever the case may be, man, just support your local people, local business, local artists, local everything, dog. Like, support them, dog. And with that being said, support me too. You know what I'm saying? I'm still in the up and coming as far as podcaster. You know what I'm saying? I just started podcasting this year, so I'm still young in the game, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like I'm doing pretty good considering, but you can always do better. You definitely always do better. So, my shit is on Spotify, iTunes, YouTube. Follow my YouTube page, Hip Hop Vibes, the podcast. You know what I'm saying? Subscribe, comment, like, share with your friends, all that good shit. Short plug. But yeah, Corey Miller, Sax Love Money, the Raleigh Sessions. Check them out. Available on all streaming platforms on YouTube. Give them a listen. And now for the main event. The album I want to talk about this week is LNDN Aktive. That's Aktive with a K. They spell LNDN LNDN DRGS. Basically, just spell LNDN the correct way and take out the vowels. Boom, there you go. This album, Aktive. LNDN is a duo with rapper Jay Worthy and producer Sean House. What I like about this album, one, it is a West Coast album, so you know I'm a huge fan of West Coast music. But Sean House did his thing with the sampling. In the Jay Worthy interview I saw maybe like a year back, he talked about like when he was growing up, there was like this oldie station, and he was always listening to that oldie station as a kid. So when he got older and he started rapping, he would always rap over these oldie songs. And then you come to this album. That's basically what it is. It's like a lot of oldie samples. It's like a lot of oldie samples that he's just rapping over, man. And I can relate to that because me growing up, my parents listened to like the oldie stations, oldie channels, and things like that from like the 60s, 70s, 80s, funk, disco, jazz, all that good stuff. Soul, old school soul from back in the day. So I grew up appreciating that genre of music or that era of music. And this is part of the reason why I love West Coast music so much, because a lot of their sampling, a lot of their style comes from that era of music. You know what I'm saying? That genre of music. So this album really does a good job of that. Like I said, it came out in 2018. This album came out in 2018. They actually done plenty of work before that. Their first project was the LNDN EP, which came out in 2015. And they done so many albums like in between that, like Burnout 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then Jay Worthy's done other albums he's worked with Currency. He's done an album with Alchemist, album with Harry Fraud. He did an album with G Perico and Cardo. But like, yeah, they've been doing this thing. Like when I first discovered this album back in 2019, like I have Amazon Music. They have this thing called Discovery Mix. So based off the music that I listen to, like Amazon every week will put together a different playlist of music of songs that I haven't heard. 9 times out of 10, I haven't heard these songs. Again, like I said, I listen to a lot of West Coast music. So one of the songs that was on that playlist was Plug Before, which is on this album. Heard it, thought she was fire, saved it. Whenever I find a good song, I always want to find out which album it came from so I can listen to that album and see if the album matches that song. And in this particular case, it did. Like this album, like I said, is fucking amazing. Like it's 23 songs in total. It's just a whole vibe from top to bottom. Like I described, like I said on my last episode when I was doing the player's manual on review. It's another album where, you know, spring, summertime, riding in the city, top down, windows down, just blasting the shit, man. It's just that type of album, bro, for real. Like that. And usually I try to name like my top 3, the top 5 favorite songs of the album, but it's just so many like songs on here that I just can't pick. I can't limit it to just those few. Like you got La Quinta, you got Susan, you got Phase Last Summertime, you got Plug Before. And I'm literally just listening to these in order. Like the first half of this album is fucking amazing. Like the album as a whole was great. But if I had to like split it between the two, it's the first half for me. That's like the beginning of the album really sets off the rest of the album. Like I said, La Quinta, Susan, Fade, Plug Before, Use a Trick, Money Don't Make the Man, Hop Out remix with Currency, with the Joel and Freddie Gibbs, Tomorrow, Won't Holla. There's just so many joints, bro. Funk It Up. Like, dog, I just keep naming songs because it's just that good. You know what I'm saying? Like, it really is, bro. Like, I listened to this album all the way through so many fucking times, bro. Like, it's ridiculous for real. Like, he got so many features on here. Crazy Bone, ASAP Yams, RP, like I said, Freddie Gibbs, G Perico, Larry June, YG Hootie, Polyester the Saint. There's a lot of West Coast artists on there. So like, yeah, the album is definitely like that, bro. I love the samples in this joint. And the one thing I like about the sample is like, it's kind of an ode to how sampling was back in the day. For example, like when Rap is the Light first came out. You know, like back in the day when rap was first a thing, like what they would do is they would take fucking disco songs, find out one part of the song, copy paste it, loop it, and then boom, and rap over it. Boom, you got a song. For example, like Rappers Delight. They basically just sampled Good Times by Chic. Took that one part of the song, you know, cut and paste, looped it, rapped over it, and then boom, you got Rappers Delight. One of the first hip hop songs to go commercial, to get radio play. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of the old of how they sample it. You know what I'm saying? nowadays, you know, in the newer age, like sampling is so like there's so much you can do with a sample. You can chop a sample. You can chop a sample up to the point where like you won't even recognize it's a sample. Production in hip hop has got so creative with everything. It's the simplicity of the sample, but at the same time, it's just like the dedication to the actual production and mixing that just makes this album just fucking amazing to me. It's more. There's no more I can really say. The album is just fucking amazing, bro. So like, Aktive, London Drugs, Aktive with a K, London Drugs, Jay Worthy, Sean House. Make sure y'all listen to this shit. This shit is fire. I would never steer y'all wrong as far as music goes, bro. Like dead ass. But yeah, that's my album review. London Drugs, Aktive. Make sure y'all go check that joint out. It's available on all streaming platforms. This is AJ, and this is Hip Hop Vibes, the podcast. I'm gonna catch y'all later.